Ever pondered why a summer day feels hotter than it did a decade ago? It's not just your imagination. Our world is indeed changing, becoming warmer year by year. This isn't about the occasional heat wave, but a steady, noticeable shift. Winters are turning milder, summers are growing harsher, and weather patterns are becoming more unpredictable. This is the puzzling predicament we find ourselves in. Yes, our planet is getting warmer, and the reason is global warming. To understand the gravity of the situation, consider these alarming statistics. Since the late 19th century, Earth's average surface temperature has risen by about 1.1 degrees Celsius. That might not sound like much, but remember, we're talking about the average temperature of the entire planet. Turning to our oceans, sea levels have been rising at an average rate of about 3.3 millimeters per year over the past 2 decades. That's roughly the height of 2 stacked pennies each year, which might also seem insignificant until you consider the cumulative effect. This rise in sea levels is mainly due to the thermal expansion of seawater and the loss of land-based ice from glaciers and polar ice caps. Speaking of ice, the Arctic has been losing approximately 13.2% of its ice per decade since 1979. That's like losing an area of ice larger than the state of Maryland every single year. And let's not forget about extreme weather events. In the United States alone, the number of weather and climate disasters causing over $1 billion in damages has doubled in the past decade. These are not just numbers. They are signs of a rapidly changing world. These figures don't lie. Global warming is not a future problem. It's happening now. You might be wondering, how much of this is actually our fault? Well, let's delve into that. The truth is, human activities play a significant role in driving global warming. The burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas releases enormous amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, acting like a blanket that traps heat around the Earth. Then there's deforestation. Our forests are the planet's lungs, absorbing carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen. But when we cut down these trees, not only do we lose this vital carbon sink, we also release stored carbon back into the atmosphere. And let's not forget industrial processes. Many industries emit greenhouse gases as a byproduct of their operations. Since the Industrial Revolution, our dependence on these processes has skyrocketed, and with it, so have global temperatures. In essence, our actions are like a domino effect, setting off a chain reaction that accelerates global warming. Our actions have consequences, and they're heating up our planet. Feeling overwhelmed? Don't. Each of us has the power to make a difference. You see, combating global warming isn't solely the responsibility of governments or large corporations. It's an all-hands-on-deck situation. Every one of us, right down to the individual level, has a role to play. And there are countless ways to contribute. Take energy consumption, for example. By simply being mindful of how much energy we're using, we can make a significant impact. Turning off lights when we leave a room, unplugging electronics when they're not in use, and adjusting our thermostats by just a couple of degrees can all add up to substantial energy savings. And let's not forget about recycling. It's more than just separating plastic from paper. It's about understanding the life cycle of the products we use. By choosing items with less packaging or those made from recycled materials, we can reduce the demand for new materials, thereby decreasing the amount of energy required to manufacture them. Then there's transportation. Opting for public transit, carpooling, biking, or even walking instead of driving alone can significantly reduce our carbon emissions. And when it comes time to buy a new vehicle, considering a hybrid or electric model can make a big difference. Finally, there's advocacy. We can use our voices to call for clean energy policies and sustainable practices. By voting, contacting our representatives, and supporting organizations that are fighting for these causes, we can help shape the world in which we live. All these actions, small as they may seem, can accumulate into a tidal wave of change. They're steps everyone can take, every day, to help cool our warming planet. We're all in this together. And while it's true that we've got a steep hill to climb, it's also true that we're capable of great things when we come together. Remember, our planet's future is in our hands. Start making a difference today.